Have you ever felt a spark you can't quite name? A glance that lingers for a heartbeat, then disappears the second you notice? A conversation that drifts from light small talk into something warmer, deeper, until someone else walks in and the temperature drops to zero? If you've sensed that push-pull tension and asked yourself, is this real, or am I reading too much into it? This episode is for you. Welcome to Stoicism Drive. Today we're unpacking the subtle, often confusing signs a married woman may be attracted to you, yet doing everything she can to keep it hidden. This video isn't about crossing lines or encouraging disrespect. It's about reading human behavior responsibly, understanding the psychology beneath mixed signals, and, most importantly, choosing actions that align with your values. By the end, you'll know what to look for, what it doesn't mean, and how to respond with clarity and integrity. Quick intent check, and why this matters. Attraction is human. Boundaries are chosen. Two truths can coexist. She might feel drawn to you and be committed to her marriage. Our goal isn't to exploit tension, it's to see clearly, avoid self-deception, and act in a way we'll respect tomorrow. If something costs your character, it's too expensive. Why can attraction surface here? Relationships are complex and no marriage is immune to seasons of stress, routine, or disconnection. Attraction outside a relationship can arise for reasons that aren't purely physical. Emotional oxygen, attention, validation, or a sense of being genuinely seen can feel rare during busy, high-responsibility phases of life. A small kindness, someone remembering a detail or noticing effort, can feel disproportionately meaningful. Novelty and self-image, new interactions can refresh the way we perceive ourselves. Feeling interesting, desirable, or respected can rekindle parts of identity that went quiet. Unmet conversational needs, depth, humor, curiosity, if these are scarce at home, she may lean into the person who provides them. Intentionally or not, limerence and projection, early-stage infatuation often projects ideal qualities onto the other person. It's powerful, and usually temporary, especially when gated by strong external boundaries. None of this automatically equals intent to cheat. It explains why subtle cues may appear, so you interpret them without fantasy or cynicism. Read signals responsibly. 3 principles. Before we list cues, adopt these guardrails. Baseline first. How does she behave with everyone else? Warmth that's universal is kindness. Warmth reserved for you might be interest. Clusters, not crumbs. One cue proves nothing. Patterns across time and contexts carry weight. Contrast is the message. Open in private, distant in public, deep in DMs, brief in meetings. The swing itself can be the tell. Nonverbal cues. What the body whispers. 1. Lingering eye contact with quick retreats. Holding your gaze a fraction longer, then darting away when noticed. Repeated glances across a room aren't random, they're risk-managed connection. 2. Self-grooming and presentation. Adjusting hair, smoothing clothing, touching the neck or collarbone, checking a reflection as you approach. These are classic, often unconscious, signals of wanting to be seen at one's best. 3. Orientation and distance. Feet and torso angled toward you, leaning in, arms uncrossed. Watch for sudden reversals, arms folding, posture straightening, or a step back when others enter. 4. Micro-mirroring. Adopting your speaking cadence, gestures, or facial expressions. Mirroring increases rapport. Its selective appearance can be revealing. 5. Nervous energy. Fidgeting with a pen, a ring, or a sleeve. Voice softening. Laughter slightly more frequent around you than others. Excitement and caution often share the same nervous channel. Verbal patterns. How conversation quietly escalates. 1. Depth beyond necessity. Simple questions become thoughtful stories. She volunteers personal reflections, circles back to shared topics, or extends chats when there's no practical need. That's connection seeking, not mere courtesy. 2. Attentive memory. She remembers your coffee order, that presentation date, the trail you recommended. Precision in recall signals attention, attention signals investment. 3. Compliments that target character, not just looks. You're insightful. You stay calm under pressure. Praising ideas, judgment, or effort lands deeper than surface flattery, especially with warm tone and deliberate timing. 4. Gentle curiosity about your rhythm. She learns when you're free, references your routines, or follows up on things important to you. Online, you might notice timely replies or thoughtful reactions, engaged but still deniable. 5. Soft boundary tests. Light teasing, inside jokes, or hypothetical what-ifs. If you were there, you'd allow warmth without explicit admission. Proximity by design, the coincidences. Attraction often tries to share space, quietly. She appears at meetings or social circles she previously skipped. Walk-bys multiply, past your desk. Your route, your usual hangout. She adopts a hobby you're known for, that hiking group, book circle, or volunteer shift. She initiates small collaborations that keep you in touch. One overlap is coincidence. A reliable pattern is strategy, usually careful, often cautious. Public restraint versus private warmth, the contradiction. Alone, she's relaxed, animated, and genuine. In a group, she grows formal or invisible. Conversations end abruptly when someone else joins. She redirects attention away from you. This whiplash isn't rejection, it's reputation management. The contrast is the tell. Look for consistent toggling. Open in private, restrained in public. The change is the message. Mixed signals and the safety of ambiguity. Engaging one day, distant the next. Comfortable in quiet corners, awkward in crowds, even when signs stack up. Explicit confirmation rarely arrives. Expect deflection, humor, or topic changes if the subject gets close. Ambiguity preserves deniability, and often, the status quo. Key insight. Inconsistency can be consistent with hidden interest. That still doesn't make it an invitation. What this isn't, a green light to pursue. Interest isn't consent, circumstances matter. Proof she's unhappy or that you're meant to be. Humans can feel pull without wanting to act. A license to flirt harder. Escalation increases risk for everyone. How to respond with integrity, the Stoic way. 1. Control the controllable. You don't control her feelings, you do control your judgments. Tone and proximity. Choose conduct you'll respect in a week and in a year. 2. Audit your contribution. Have you been feeding the dynamic? Private jokes, one-on-one time, suggestive humor, long DMs? Dial it back without being cold. Prefer group settings. Keep chats purposeful and time-bound. Skip flirt-coded compliments. Stick to professional, neutral praise. 3. Set clear, kind guardrails. You don't need a dramatic confrontation. Use calm, respectful framing and then live by it. I value our interactions, and I think it's best we keep things professional. I enjoy our conversations, but to avoid mixed signals, I'll stick to group chats. 4. Premeditate consequences. Play the tape forward. Who gets hurt? What reputations are at risk? What will you wish you'd done differently? Wisdom is proactive, not reactive. 5. Anchor to values. If it compromises your integrity or her commitments, it's misaligned, no matter how thrilling it feels in the moment. Practical scripts, so you're never caught off guard. Workplace. I appreciate the camaraderie. For clarity, I'm keeping our chats focused on projects and team topics. Community. Volunteer. I'm glad we're on the same team. Let's loop others into planning so everything stays transparent. Social. Online. Thanks for the message. Let's keep conversations in the group thread so I don't miss anything. If she escalates subtly, you're great to talk to. I want to be respectful of your situation, so I'm setting a boundary for myself. Deliver these neutrally, then reinforce with behavior. Boundaries aren't announcements, they're patterns. If you misread the signals, it happens. You're human. If you sense you leaned in too far, reset tone to neutral and professional. Reduce one-on-one time without drama. Avoid defensiveness or over-explaining. Let consistent conduct rewrite the story. Grace is powerful. Most dynamics fade without fuel. Red flags to disengage immediately. Secrecy demands. Let's keep this between us. Partner put downs as invitations. Frequent disparagement of a spouse to justify closeness. Boundary pushing under pressure. Guilt. manipulation, or triangulation. Risk blind escalation, late-night private meetups, emotionally charged DMs, or reliance that displaces her partner. When stakes rise, step back. Your future self will thank you. Green signals for healthy, platonic connection. Inclusion of others in plans and messages. Transparency about schedules and commitments. Respectful, time-bound interactions with clear purposes. No flirt-coded jokes. No intimacy creep. Healthy boundaries don't dim warmth, they purify it. Summary. What to notice. What to choose. Notice. Clusters of subtle cues, lingering looks. Selective grooming. Orientation toward you. Deeper than necessary conversation. Precise memory. Designed proximity. Private warmth, public restraint. And ambiguity when named. Choose to respect commitments. Audit your contribution. Set kind guardrails. And behave in line with your principles. Remember, mixed signals aren't a map, your values are. Final word, and why it matters. Awareness is power, but character is peace. Recognizing these dynamics doesn't require action, it requires wisdom. When in doubt, choose the response that protects trust, yours and everyone else's. If a situation asks you to hide, it isn't worth finding. If this breakdown helped you see social signals more clearly, support the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to Stoicism Drive for grounded, practical insights into relationships and human behavior. Drop a comment. Which cue surprised you most? And what boundary will you hold to protect your peace? More eye-opening topics are on the way. Stay grounded, stay true. See you in the next one.